Well, I think we're ready to start, Sonia. I want to welcome everyone to
Good.
our webinar, our online seminar series. And I'm Stephanie Droker, president of ACCJC, and it's my privilege and honor to introduce our chair and the president of Bakersfield College, Sonia Christian.
Well, good afternoon, California. Good afternoon, Hawaii. And should I say good morning to our colleges in the Pacific, American Samoa, Northern Marianas Islands, Marshall Islands, Federated States of Micronesia, Guam, and Palau. Together, we are ACCJC, the only regional accreditation agency that is exclusively comprised of community colleges. Community college, what a unique American invention. Well, I should know, Stephanie, I'm an immigrant to this great country. And community colleges are central to the health of America's mind, body, and soul. We are in crazy and unusual times. Our country was struck with the COVID pandemic, and our students and colleges had to move completely to an online environment abruptly. Millions of Americans without a job. Our nation was rocked by the video of 46-year-old George Floyd slowly dying in front of our eyes. The growing political polarization that was made even more visible during the recent election, showing us that 300 million Americans see their world in completely different ways, different realities. Friends, at this critical time in our history, I believe that America is counting on us, community colleges, to step up during these challenging times to illuminate a path forward. Do you agree? Should we rethink our role in the future of learning? Do we create learning spaces that adapt to the student, to the context? Should we address the development of shared values like empathy, human dignity, integrity, diversity, in addition to the traditional cognitive development of critical thinking, problem solving, etc.? Can and should we bring state-of-the-art technologies into the learning environment, even as we work to humanize interaction within and outside the academy? Really, what should the future of learning look like? I say, community college colleagues, let's #Occupy Learning. Steph, back to you.
Well, this effort, these 4 days where we'll come together and discuss the future of learning in these important conversations are not just done by ACCJC alone. We work together with our partners, the University of Hawaii Community College System, the California Community College Chancellor's Office, the Academic Senate for the California Community Colleges, and the Pacific Post-Secondary Education Council. Together we come through this collaboration in support of all of our member institutions, our students in these conversations. And so a heartfelt thank you for everyone who's partnered with us today to bring these important speakers to you.
That's right. Today we launch an 8-hour seminar series in 4 2-hour sessions to explore together the future of learning. You know, you will not see PowerPoints. You will not hear abstract truths presented with bar graphs and pie charts. Sorry, John Hess. Rather, you should imagine that we are all gathered around a campfire with friends whom we care about, an intimate space where we can be candid while having fun, with the warmth of the fire and the warmth of affection from colleagues as we engage in these conversations, with our featured speakers on the main stage and with the rest of us via the back channels of the chat feature on Zoom and the Q&A feature. Remember, the chat feature should be treated as your public notebook. Just go ahead and jot down notes. Share your deep thoughts, your light thoughts. Just have fun. with the chat feature. The Q&A, however, is for a more formal set of questions where a team member will attempt, and trust me, we have a large team behind the scenes responding, or they will attempt to respond to your questions. And they may punt the questions to the main stage speakers. So many details, so many people, right, Steph, involved with the planning?
Absolutely. Those people behind the scenes that Sonia mentioned, those teams, I want to say thank you. Thank you to the California Community College Chancellor's Office team. You're working behind the scenes. You're supporting this by using your web platform to transmit this information today. I want to thank the ACCJC staff who are behind the scenes, and you'll see them, our vice presidents, on the chat and Q&A functions today. And of course, Sonia, we could not have done this without your awesome team at Bakersfield College. So thank you to them. Go Renegades.